Hello everybody, Cooper here and welcome back to another episode of the Mosswood Academy here on Cricket Captain 2023. I hope you are all doing very, very well. I'm recording this on a Sunday night. I've just had some pizza and I'm feeling good, and I feel like I'm going to sit down, record a video, play some Cricket Captain and have a good time. It's been one of those weekends. Just a lot of uni work and a lot of stuff, but I'm here, I'm happy, all is good in the world. Where I left you off last time was the beginning of the Betway SA20 Cup, which we actually won again. So back-to-back winners for MI Cape Town. Happy days in that regard. As you can see here, we got through the knockout stage fairly comfortably and ended up winning as champions. Went unbeaten during the group stage with a really, really good net run rate. But despite all this, don't mind my cat in the background making a few rogue noises. Despite all of this, we had quite a disjointed season in this competition. We'll go over the stats for this particular competition. This is not the one I am looking for. I am looking for specifically, we might have to go to our team. It's not, this is not what I want. Here we go. There we go, okay. 20 over, last competition. No, that's not it either. Oh my goodness. Current year. You know what, that'll have to do. But it's been an absolute minefield of... I'm looking at the wrong team. Oh my god, it's doing it again. I am all over the shop in this video. Never mind. Okay, we'll just have to do this. We'll just have to do it this way. There we go. Actually, this is what I wanted. Perfect. So this is the squad of basically how we went with our season. As you can see here, we used a large variety of players, some of which came from players going away on international duty, others coming back from other international tournaments, such as De Villiers from the Big Bash. So yeah, it was just a really crazy time for our squad. I don't think anybody got injured. It's just we've only got an 18-man squad, so we lack depth in certain areas. So, you know, our opening bat situation, yes, we've got 4 opening batsmen, but only 2 of them are actually any good. So Herman, you know, is an example of one guy. Averages 28, but he's on $590,000 for his contract. So I'm probably going to let him go at the end of the season because I just haven't played him, and I feel like we could pick a good youngster up for that price. Rollison was good. Dean Elgar only played a handful of matches. He was away on international duty at some time, I believe. No, he wasn't. Where was he? He might have had a pre-existing injury. I don't know, but he only played a few games and then he got kicked out. De Villiers came back and did very well, striking the ball at 226, which is amazing. There's a few innings that happened during this tournament which will knock your socks off, so be prepared for that. Kurtzen was fantastic. De Villiers, as I said, was really good. Player of the tournament, in my opinion, even though he only played the 10 games. Rosington played all 12. He was sort of like our number 5, number 6. He didn't score that many runs, but he sort of did his job, which was sort of scored a high rate and get sort of 20 and 30 here and there. So he sort of did his job. Got a couple of not outs, I think. Nisham, Popguider, and Feliqueu all spent time spent the majority of the time away on international duty, so we didn't really get to spend a lot of time with them, but when they did play, they played okay. Apart from Neesham, I think Neesham only had the one innings and didn't bowl, so he's obviously on an international contract, which is only for 1 year, so we can reevaluate that at the end of the season. Xavier Johnson, I was actually really impressed with. We've sort of given him... We obviously used him in the provincial stuff for the Mosswood Academy side of things, but for MI Cape Town, we sort of gave him a bit more opportunity. I don't think he played in the one-day competition. He did play in the one-day competition. So we obviously did that, but he hasn't played any first-class stuff yet. So we are going to bring him back into the fold as a first-class player. We are going to go over that a bit later, but he was really impressive. Probably our best all-rounder, who actually batted and bowled a considerable amount. Picked up 4 wickets in 7 overs and kept the runs down, which is basically the opposite of his provincial form, where he bowled horrifically, and I think he ended up with like 3 not-out scores. So he had a decent average, but obviously didn't get any high scores. Will Jacks was really, really good. He actually didn't open for us. He was away on international duty and was in terrible form. One did not bat, duck before he came to us. And then he played a few matches. He got a few not-out scores here and there. And then this is one of the scores I talked about. He exploded for 178 not-out. I think he might have been batting at 4. So imagine what he could have done had he opened. Obviously opened for us a lot last season. But even though he only played the 7 games, he was worth every penny of basically the $1 million we spent on him. Didn't bowl. I didn't need him to bowl. I had my 5 bowlers that I was happy with. And I was very confident in my batting lineup that I ended up just playing him at 4 as a batsman. We did have Rabada from the majority of the tournament, all bar the last game, all bar the final. He was our best bowler. He was really, really good. A little bit expensive at times, but he was really good. 29 wickets at 11, 8.4 runs and over. Contributed actually a decent amount with the bat, picked up 57 runs. A little bit low of a strike rate, but he is a bowler, so can't be too picky. And the other guys, the wickets were pretty evenly spread. Flair was probably the least impressive of our youth prospect bowlers. But yeah, I was really happy with our bowling unit. Generally stayed the same. We did make a few tweaks here and there, but the bowling lineup, we played basically a top 7 for batsmen, a top 6 we played basically 6 batters, and then we had 5 bowlers. So we played Rabada, Haynes, Beamish, Jones and Flair all at once. I think Rabada was actually batting at 7 at one point, or it might have been Flair, I don't remember. But we played the 5 bowlers, the 4 pace, 1 spinner, and that worked towards the back end of the tournament. I think we did that for 8 games, which were the 8 games that Flair played. And when Rabada went out, Richardson came in and played 1 game. Picked up 2 for 46, I think, if my maths is correct. But there's a few guys I'm probably going to let go next season if I can. Brevis, he's actually out injured. He didn't play at all for us, just being away in other competitions. So he was basically a non-de facto. Same with Vander Dussen and Hetmeyer. Hetmeyer, I don't know where he was, but he just didn't play for us. He was in Bangladesh. I know he was on international duty, and then he was in the Pakistan or the UAE league, I assume. So that's where he was. So he didn't actually play any games for us. And Herman and Kaber, Kaber's on a 1-year deal, sort of same deal. He was just sort of there to fill the squad. So there's definitely some names that we want to keep. I believe Richardson's contract is up at the end of the year. He's actually been really, really good for Northwest Dragons, so we might actually keep him around as sort of a reserve. But he's definitely, along with Rabada, our fastest bowlers, because our other guys are sort of medium fast, fast medium, whereas Rabada and him are sort of out and out fast bowlers. So we're going to stick with them for now. I'm really, as I said before, really happy with the bowling lineup. It's the lack of batting depth that we have. So we were very reliant on Johnson, Rollison, De Villiers and Kurtzen, as well as Jacks when he played. So we need more batting because, yeah, when they didn't play, we got into a few situations where we luckily didn't lose any games, but it potentially could have ended up differently for us. So we want to, obviously, we've got the title, we've won it twice, we want to keep winning it. So we've got to try and find a way to keep getting better. So we're going to have a look at the fixtures now for season just gone. We start the season with a fairly comfortable victory over Pile Royals. We bowled very well. Everyone sort of got 2 wickets, sort of rotated very nicely. Beamish was the only one who was relatively expensive, but, you know, it's okay. Not the end of the world. And then we chased down the runs in 14 overs, a fairly stock standard run chase in terms of we didn't go too crazy with the bat like we did in some other games that you're going to see. But as you can see, the team that we had here, very different to the one that we actually ended with. So we, yeah, it definitely did change a lot throughout the tournament, which I want to try and minimize as possible, because I was watching a few videos from my Cricket Captain Academy that I did last year's game. And I was talking about, I was watching, I did a video on coaching and squad selection, and I was really emphasizing the importance on keeping a solid 11, you know, game after game after game to build up team chemistry and things like that. I don't even know if that's a feature in the game, but I like to believe it is. So that's sort of one thing I want to keep an eye on. Then we played Pile Royals again 2 days later, which is actually my birthday, 24th of January. So happy birthday me. We got 8 for 194. Majority of those runs coming from Kurtzen, who picked up a nice 100. I think he got out in the last ball of the innings, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we were 3 for 40 at one stage. So as you can see, even with this team that we had, we're very sort of thin up the top. If, you know, one player if Kurtzen doesn't get his big score, we, you know, are in a lot of trouble. So, but yeah, it was just, we were lucky that Kurtzen played so well in this fixture. And then we're lucky that we have the bowlers that we do. We didn't take all 10. We did have them 5 for 58 and then 7 for 105, but then we just couldn't get Jones and Kodakara out. This is where I decided to bring Xavier Johnson back into the fold as a bowler just to see what he could do. So I knew he was expensive and didn't take, I think he only took 1 wicket in the earlier 2020 tournament, but he seems to have done a lot better for us. He's in a lot better bowling form now, so I'm interested to see what he can do for us in the first class stuff. I think I'm actually batting him at 6, if my memory serves me correct, from when I was picking the team earlier today. So anyway, we won this one fairly comfortably as well. Then we played Sunrisers Eastern Cape, which we batted first. De Villiers got 100. This is the match that De Villiers came back in after his stint with the Sydney Thunder, which he actually didn't do too badly. He was averaging about 30. I want to say 28, 30. So, yeah, he did very well for us. And then, yeah, it was a massive partnership that started off the innings. 146 was the first wicket, and then we lost 2 quick wickets in the middle order. I think Rossington got 2 ducks in a row, because I think he got a duck in the last match. And then Xavier Johnson and De Villiers sort of chipped on at the end there to get us a few extra runs, get us over 200. And then we bowled them all out for 145. Finally took all 10 wickets. Played very well. Beamish, Jones and Rabada specifically bowled very well. Potgieter, the trouble is he goes away on international duty, then he comes back and he's sort of out of form because he hasn't been playing with us. And then so he's sort of out of rhythm with the rest of the team. So he's probably the one that I think I ended up just batting him at 7 and I had Johnson take his overs. So, but that was, I think that was something that we did later on. Then we moved on. We actually played Sunrisers again in basically the next day, actually. 27th to the 28th. We batted first. I don't know why I was confused for a second. It said Cape Town in the top left, but I was used to seeing MI Cape Town. And nobody really stood out. This was more of an all-round batting performance. This is one of the performances that Rabada stood out with the bat in. But we got basically 200. Rossington gets another duck. He ended up with like 3 ducks in a row. Yeah. But yeah, got a few decent scores. But yeah, he was horrifically out of form for us. But he played every game and he's a champion. So. But yeah, he was... Johnson was our best batsman, got the most runs, kept it going at a good rate, couldn't quite get his 50, but still did a decent job, and then we bowled them out very comfortably. Jones actually ended up with a hat-trick to finish out the match. Did he get a hat-trick? Must have. No, I don't think he did, because I'm looking at the 8th wicket fell for 120, and then the 9th was 125, so no, he couldn't have gotten a hat-trick. Somebody got a hat-trick. I don't remember who it was. But anyway, Beamish was the only one who didn't get a wicket. But we bowled very well. Happy with how we played, and this was one of the more comfortable matches. Then we played Pretoria Capitals. We bowled first in this one, and we took all 10 very quickly, bowled them out for 93, and then, we chased it down fairly comfortably. Chased it down in just under 7 overs. So it's just one of those matches that everything clicked. This is the one where everybody's gone on international duty and we had to change the lineup. We had Flair batting at 7. So he normally bats at 8 for the Mosswood Academy, but for Cape Town, he was batting at 7. So yeah, we had this was basically the lineup that we had for the bulk of the tournament bar the final. We had Rollison, De Villiers, Kurtz and Jacks, Johnson, Rossington, and then the 5 bowlers. So this was just one of those matches that sort of everything went our way. Then we played Durban Super Giants. Another solid innings, 6 for 196. Obviously, Kurtson and De Villiers got scores of 60 plus. Jacks chipped in with 31. But this was sort of right before we hit our peak. Still a good performance, but it's sort of not the best of our season. And then we had Rabada take 4. This was his best bowling performance, I think. Best of his career, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 4 for 20. Haynes got 3 for Jones, was the only one that didn't get any wickets. Flair was okay, and Beamish was really good. I thought he plenty of dot balls in Beamish's spell. Really kept the runs down for us. Put the pressure on. Was really good. Then we had the Joburg Super Kings. Who am I thinking of? Super Giants. So it might be an IPL team. I can't remember. Was it this one? No, we just had that one. Joburg Super Giants. Yeah, Durban is the Super Giants. And we had this one where we broke 300 in a 2020. This was a match. This was probably the peak of our season. This was a crazy match. I must say, this was an away fixture. The pitch was an absolute road. So I'm not surprised that I would have taken 250, but to get 300 I think when De Villiers and Kurtzen were in their 80s, I really went balls to the wall. Poor VJ, who is one of our own from the Mosswood Academy. He got tapped up for 69 from his 4 overs, and Lind and Bartman both got hit for 70 plus, almost 80. But yeah, hundreds to De Villiers and Kurtz, and Jack's not far behind, 59. This was a crazy match. Near 200 run partnership for the second wicket. And then we bowled them all out for 165. When you're chasing nearly 15 runs, or over 15 runs and over, yeah, there's nothing you can do. So yeah, this was just a bizarre match. Truly bizarre. We had them 5 for 68. I think we must have just taken the foot off the pedal towards the back end of their innings, but we did get them all out in the end off the last ball. Which I believe was a run out, but that's just one of those things. And then we had Joburg again the next match. They actually batted first. We bowled them all out for 123, and then we chased it down fairly comfortably. This was where Jax was really starting to come into form. We were 3 for 26, which had me a little bit nervous. This is where I thought our first loss was going to come from. But no, we were fine. Our top 3 were not very good, but our 4 and 5 were very good. So that's all that mattered, which is the main thing. And then they got 2 more games in the group stage. We played Pretoria. We cracked 239 all out after 19 overs. We couldn't quite bat for 20 overs. Had we got batted for a 20th over, we probably could have gotten 250. Kurtzen was very good with 88. And then De Villiers was, I think he got his 50 off 17 balls and then got out basically the next ball. So yeah, really solid hit out for us in this one. And then we bowled them all out for 171. A pretty expensive performance from everybody except for Haynes, which I was a little bit concerned about at the time, but I suppose now that the tournament's over, I'm not that bothered about it. But we'll move on to the next one. And then we played Durban again. Was that this one? Yes, 260. We had a series of high-scoring matches. De Villiers picked up 150 off 59 balls, 18 fours and 11 sixes. Didn't even bat the full 20, and we still managed 260. Rabada finished 20 off 19. I'm not sure when De Villiers got out. I don't remember. I wish it would tell you down the bottom what time or which over they got out. Because him and the Jacks innings that we'll see later, I reckon, and I might try for it next season to try and get someone to score 200 in a T20. I don't know if it can be done, but I'm going to try. I'm going to see if it can happen. We might end up losing a game if we try and do that, but that's a sort of a maybe once we reach finals, I might try and do it. But the conditions have to be absolutely perfect. I think we played on another road in this one. And then we bowled them out for 121. Flair picked up 4. Really good performance. Rabada was excellent again. Jones, as I said before, probably the least good of our main bowlers. So it was just one of those things. Then we had the semi-final, which is where Jax came in and smoked 178, batting at 4. We were 2 for 21. I thought we were going to be in a lot of trouble. I was thinking we're going to lose in a semi. We were so good all season to then go on and lose in a semi. But yeah, Jax, man of the moment. If I can, I'm definitely bringing him back next season. But yeah, he was amazing. 178 not out in a T20. Broke Chris Gale's record for the highest score in a T20. I was just really happy with this performance. Kurtzen was also very good. De Villiers got out second ball and Rollison was, Rollison. He's either really good or really bad. And Johnson again was solid, chipping in at number 5. And then we bowled them. Actually, no, we didn't bowl. This was our worst bowling performance as well. I forgot about this. We had them 2 for 30. I was thinking, okay, we're going to get them all out. This is going to be lovely. But yeah, as I said, worst bowling performance of the season. Only Rabada picked up a wicket. But luckily we didn't repeat ourselves in the final, which was great. We beat Sunrisers fairly comfortably in the final. Top 3 each got 50s. Only Elgar came in for Jax, who missed out on the final. And then, as I said, Richardson came in for Rabada. So we did a quick lineup change. But this was a very comfortable... I think this might have been a home game. This was a very comfortable batting pitch for us. So it was a magical sort of score to get 250 in a final, which was really awesome. And then we bowled them all out for 173, which I thought was quite high considering we had them 3 for 14 at one stage. Everyone got a wicket except for Beamish. Actually, no, we only got them 8 for, not all out. But that's okay. The game was well and truly over. About halfway through, they just didn't have any momentum to score the runs that we scored. So another, I say comfortable, but not very comfortable T20 performance. I say not comfortable in the fact that, I mean, I don't think there was a close game in there, but the fact that we had to deal with so many changes throughout the season made it uncomfortable. So, but we move on to the back stage, the final quarter, actually not even quarter, final third of the season in the 4-day cup. We've got 4 first class matches to play. We're currently sitting in third, a match behind everybody else. We won it last year. I'd like to win it again. We're also going for an undefeated season across all formats, which would be nice. So I've sort of got that back in the back of my mind. But if we're in a situation where we have to get a draw, I will try and get a draw. But I think we should be okay. I should actually note that Williams was actually getting a lot more game time for Pile Royals in this year's T20 competition. He had a few decent scores. He's in okay form at the moment, but did have a few duds as well. So hopefully he can translate some of that form into some more decent first class performances, because he's averaging 59. Obviously it's only after 9 games, but we'll see how we go. And then De Villiers, he's been fantastic. He's averaging, between us and playing in the Big Bash and everything in between, he's averaging 59 at T20 level. He's only played 2 one-days. He's also averaging 59 in that. And he's obviously averaging the 200 at first class level, but I do fully expect that to come down. Johnson's going to come in, make his first class debut. I don't know whether or not I expect him to bowl much. I'll probably just stick with the main 4 plus Cilliers. I've moved Cilliers all the way down to 7 because I feel like he's sort of, with the emergence of De Villiers and Williams and potentially even Johnson, I feel like he was averaging near 50 last season, and currently he's averaging only 12 across 3 innings. So I feel like he might be out of his depth batting that high. So if he can become a number 6 or a number 7, still average, if we can keep that average of 45, that would be swell. But we'll just see how we go. And then the second 11, I would have liked to play Varenne, but he's either been out on test duty or he's been injured. He's currently injured now. So had he been healthy, he probably would have played over Johnson, and then he would have gotten keeping duties, and they would have batted Cilliers at 6. But as you can see, we have no spare bowlers. So yeah, we need, both in this team and for my franchise team, depth is what we need. And that'll come hopefully in the form of youth players. And just the removal of players that we don't need anymore. Because I think Cam's soaking up, 410,000. Malangu, 300k. Devapria? Yeah, I think that's how you say his name. He's an overseas player, so, you know, he's free. And Abraham's, while he's a good keeping option, his batting is horrendous. So we could probably spend that 300k elsewhere. I don't know, with all the international play that Varen's been playing, I don't know if he excuse me, if he's going to get a Cricket South Africa contract. So he might be a free option next season. Basically, if you get like one of your players gets an international contract, they don't count towards your budget, which is great. So hopefully we can get as many of those as we can. That way that can free up the budget to then go and spend our money elsewhere. I really wish we didn't give Filaqueu a 2-year contract. That was my mistake, because he hasn't played any first-class cricket for us. I don't actually think he's played any cricket for us. He's played maybe one 2020. And he wasn't very good. So that was a mistake on my part. Pot Guider, again, he's been okay this season, I think. He's played a little bit. He played in the first class match, and he didn't play very well. But he's largely been away on international duty, so we hopefully can get an international contract into him as well. But that just about wrapped things up for the rest of the season. The Irish Bradman, I forgot about Sterling. He's been away on test duty and one-day duty. He hasn't been very good, but he's still got that massive 220, which is just holding him at 2.5 star form. Hasn't bowled at all, but he's been amazing for us at a first-class level. Glad he's back. So I think his playing percentage was 59% availability. So that percentage was basically while the South African T20 competition was on. So if he's like that again for next season, I'm happy to keep him on as our international player. But that's a problem for next episode once I review the rest of the season and do the off season again next episode. So stick around for that, guys. I hope you have enjoyed today. I know it's a bit of a longer episode, but there was a lot of games to cover and a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about. I'm going to play these games tonight, and then I'll probably record the next episode tomorrow. But I think on the channel, I think we're up to episode 4, and you guys seem to be liking it, which is great. So happy days. I will catch up with you next time. Have a lovely day, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye.